There are mornings when you wake up but don't really wake up. The light is soft, but your mind is already heavy with unfinished things, people you haven't let go of, messages you haven't replied to. Before you even take a breath, the world is already asking something from you. One swipe on the screen and you're back in the stories of other people. I used to start my days like that. My emotions moved with the weather, with an email, with a passing remark. Some mornings I felt small, as if life had already started and I was only chasing after it. It took me years to understand that morning is not a time, it is a doorway. Every time you open your eyes, you stand before a choice to enter the day, being led by your thoughts, or to enter it with awareness. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "When you wake up, think of the privilege it is to be alive, to think, to love, to act." He understood that the way we speak to ourselves each morning shapes the way we live the rest of the day. The morning is where we plant the first seeds of thought, and by evening, those seeds become our reality. This journey holds 10 things you can tell yourself every morning. Not shallow affirmations, but reminders to return to what you can control, to your inner qualities, to the peace no one can touch. 10 lines, 10 mornings, and 10 chances to come closer to who you truly are. I cannot promise that life will become easier after this, but if you stay until the end, you may see something simple yet profound. Peace does not come from controlling the world, but from controlling how you begin each day. When you learn to speak to yourself in the correct language, the world no longer decides how you feel. Every significant change begins with a small moment, and that moment is the one when you open your eyes. You cannot choose everything that will happen today, but you can decide how you walk into it. You can begin with a breath, a sentence, a reminder of your own agency. If you have ever woken up in chaos, take this video as a new ritual. A morning to return, not to run. A journey not toward positivity, but toward clarity. When you learn to speak to yourself with the right words, you no longer need anyone else to give you peace. And every journey, no matter how deep, begins with a small step. The first step is learning to take responsibility for your emotions, because that is the foundation for everything you will build after. Peace is not something you find, it is something you cultivate and maintain. Morning is where you begin to learn how to keep it. Lesson 1. You are responsible for your own emotions. There are mornings when you wake up uneasy without knowing why. A cold message, a frown on someone's face, or a negative headline is enough to shake your mind. The rest of the day feels heavy, frustrating, and you keep asking why people can make you lose your calm so easily. I used to live that way. My emotions belonged to other people. When they were kind, I felt light. When they were distant, I felt small. Life became a chain of reactions. Until one morning, I read a line from Discourses by Epictetus. "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." That line changed the way I began every day. The Stoics believed that there is always a space between what happens and how we respond, the space between stimulus and response. In that space, you have a choice. You cannot stop others from saying what they want, but you can choose how you hear it. You cannot control the world, but you can control your reaction to it. And when you learn that, you stop being a puppet of circumstance. Modern psychology calls this emotional regulation. When you react too quickly, your brain follows the primitive pathways governed by fear and memory. But the moment you pause, take one slow breath, the prefrontal cortex activates. That is where logic and awareness live. One breath can change the entire direction of your day. Now, when someone irritates me in the morning, I no longer ask, "Why did they do that?" I ask, "Why did that make me lose my calm?" That question brings me back. It shifts the focus from them to me, to the only place I truly have control. When you learn to do that, you begin to feel freedom, even in the most minor things. Try it tomorrow morning. When someone's words upset you, pause for one heartbeat. Place your hand on your chest, take a deep breath and say quietly, "I am responsible for my emotions." That sentence will not erase the discomfort, but it will remind you that you are still in control. And sometimes, remembering that you are the one holding it is enough to let peace return. If you have ever had a day ruined by a single comment, share it below. Not to complain, but to remind each other that we are all learning to protect our peace. Because once you truly take responsibility for your emotions, you discover something more profound. Peace cannot be stolen. It only leaves when you hand over the key. And that brings us to the next step, learning how to protect your peace from what comes from the outside. Lesson 2. No one can take away your peace. There are moments when it feels like the world is testing your limits. A disrespectful comment, a careless action, or a cold silence, and suddenly your peace disappears. But in truth, no one can take your peace away. They only touch the place where you have not yet learned to guard it. I recall a time when a single sentence from someone close to me caused me great pain. I carried that heaviness the entire day. My mind revolved around those words as if they held the power to control how I felt. But they didn't. I had given that power away. I had left the door of my mind open without realizing it. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." That line stopped me. I realized that peace is never stolen, it is surrendered every time we let others decide how we feel. The Stoics saw the mind as a fortress. Outside may be war, chaos, or betrayal, but inside can remain silent. No one can break that fortress unless you open the gate. And each time you react unconsciously, you open it without knowing. Someone may insult you, but the feeling of being insulted comes from within you. Someone may hurt you, but the deepest pain is often the one you amplify in your own mind. When you understand that, you begin to feel a rare kind of peace, not because the world is kind, but because you are no longer easily shaken. If someone irritates you this morning, try staying silent for a moment. Observe the feeling as if it does not belong to you. Emotions come and go. They only stay when you hold on to them. Peace does not ask you to fight the world, only to stop reacting to it. I have practiced this each morning. When I hear unkind words, I do not respond right away. I whisper to myself, "This is just a wave. I am the water." And every wave eventually fades. If someone has ever made your day feel heavy, share it below. Write it to release it. Sometimes putting it into words is enough to reclaim a piece of peace you once gave away. When you learn to guard your peace, you begin to see something clearly. You do not need anyone to change for you to be at ease. True peace does not depend on how others behave. It lives in how you choose to respond. And from there you begin to understand a more profound Stoic truth, that life becomes lighter the moment you focus only on what you can control. Lesson 3. Focus on what you can control. There are mornings when you open your eyes and already see a long list of things to worry about. Work, people, weather, what might happen, and countless things that won't. You begin the day feeling defeated before anything has even started, because your mind is consumed by what is beyond your reach. I used to live that way, trying to fix everything, convince everyone, and control every detail to feel safe. But the world does not move according to our will. The more I tried to control what was outside my reach, the more I lost the only thing I truly had, myself. Epictetus once said, "Some things are up to us, and some are not." The line sounds simple, but it holds the foundation of inner freedom. When you truly understand it, you stop fighting the impossible. You no longer waste your energy trying to change people, predict the future, or rewrite the past. Instead, you place all your power into what you can do now: your words, your actions, your attitude, and your calm. The Stoics referred to this as the circle of control. A small circle, yet enough to create order in chaos. When you stand firm inside it, the world can still turn, but you will not be swept away. Like a boat in rough waters, instead of trying to stop the sea, you learn to hold the wheel. Modern psychology agrees. People who focus on what they can control tend to experience less stress, recover more quickly from crises, and feel more content in life. Because when you focus on your actions instead of obsessing over results, you become both effective and peaceful. Since learning this, I start each morning with one question: what is within my control today? It is a small question, but it clears the noise in my head. I no longer need to control the whole world. I need to maintain one thing: my response. And, strangely, when you master that one thing, the world starts to feel more manageable. This morning, if you find yourself tense over something you cannot change, take a moment to pause. Write 2 columns, one for what you can control, one for what you cannot. Then give your energy only to the first. Leave the second as a reminder of acceptance. If you have ever felt lighter after letting go of something beyond your reach, share it below. Someone might need to read your story to remember that not everything is worth worrying about. And once you learn to focus on what you can do, you begin to see something more subtle. Most of our daily fears and pressures do not come from being inadequate, but from trying to prove something to the world. Yet the truth is, you do not need to prove anything today. Lesson 4. You don't need to prove anything today. When I was younger, every morning felt like an invisible race. I had to do more, be better, move faster. I needed to prove that I was worthy, that I was on the right path, that I was good enough to be respected. But the harder I tried to prove myself, the emptier I felt. Because each time I reached one goal, a new standard appeared before me. The Stoics understood this trap thousands of years ago. Seneca once wrote, "He who lives according to the opinion of others will never find peace." That line made me stop for a long time. Deep down, I knew I wasn't really living for myself. I was living for approval, for praise, for someone to look at me and say I was doing well. But in that effort, I lost something: the stillness of the mind. When you live to prove you hand your worth to others, then all it takes is one indifferent look, one criticism, and your foundation collapses. The Stoics referred to this as the slavery of opinion. True freedom is not about being admired. It's about no longer needing to be admired at all. I began practicing this each morning. No comparison, no need to be seen, just doing what feels right. If I help someone today, I don't mention it. If I do something well, I don't wait for praise. Slowly, I began to feel lighter. Not because I gained something new, but because I no longer carried the burden of proving anything to anyone. Modern psychology refers to this as self-determination, where your actions originate from within rather than from external rewards or validation. People who live this way are more satisfied, more resilient, and less shaken by failure, because they find value not in how others see them, but in their own integrity. If you find yourself trying hard to be understood this morning, pause for a moment. You don't need to explain anything. All you need to do is live in line with your beliefs. When you no longer need to prove, you finally begin to live. Share in the comments if you've had a moment like that, when you stopped trying to be accepted and started accepting yourself. Someone might need to hear your story to set down their own weight. And when you stop proving something, natural happens. The energy you once used to convince the world begins to return to you. You find yourself with more time, more focus, more clarity. But if you don't turn that energy into action, it will become anxiety again. That's when you take the next step, from thinking to doing, because life doesn't change through intentions, but through real steps forward. Lesson 5. Act, don't just think. There are mornings when you sit at your desk holding a warm cup of coffee with a head full of plans. You will exercise again. You will write. You will apologize to someone. You will change your way of living. You will take life more seriously. Every day begins with good intentions. Then slowly the coffee cools, the morning passes, and nothing really begins. I know that feeling too well. I used to live on intentions. I liked the illusion that tomorrow I would be different. It made me feel like I was moving forward even when I was standing still. In my mind, I became a better version of myself hundreds of times, but in reality I was still the same person. That feeling can be worse than failure because you have no one else to blame. You realize you've been breaking promises to yourself over and over again. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself each morning, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. He wasn't talking about ideals. He was talking about action. The Stoics never cared how much you understood, how eloquently you spoke, or how many times you promised yourself to change. They only asked this morning, did you do the right thing, or did you think about it? Modern psychology points to something similar. When you imagine doing something good, your brain releases a small dose of satisfaction, the same feeling you'd get if you had actually done it. You receive the reward before the effort is made, and once rewarded, you lose the drive to act. That's why many people plan for years but never make a change in their lives. They're trapped inside their own image of progress. I realized I had to break that loop. I started small, so small there was no excuse to delay. Instead of saying, I'll write a chapter today, I said I'll write 3 sentences. Instead of, I'll transform my body, I said, I'll do 10 push-ups. Instead of I'll make peace with them, I said I'll send 1 honest message right now. 3 sentences, 10 push-ups, 1 message. It sounds small, but the difference between the person who changes their life and the one who only talks about change often lies right there. One has begun while the other is still considering starting. Something happens when you act even in the smallest way. You start to believe in yourself again. Self-trust doesn't come from saying, I can, but from seeing yourself do what you said you would. Each small act is a brick. You place them one by one, and one day you realize you've built a foundation, quietly, without announcement, just you and the work your hands have touched. If you've ever had that moment when a single small action shifted your life in a new direction, share it below. These stories matter. They remind others that the beginning is never a grand event. It's simply agreeing to step into reality. And once you begin to act, something happens almost immediately. Life won't clap for you. It won't say, well done, I'll clear the way. Instead, it will test you. Obstacles will appear. Fatigue, doubt, delay, misunderstanding, plans falling apart. All the little things that make you want to quit. Those obstacles were signs I shouldn't continue, that maybe the path wasn't for me. But the Stoics saw it differently. They believed the first obstacles are not warnings, but training. Challenges don't come to block you, they come to shape you into the kind of person who can keep going. That's why the following step matters. Understanding that every difficulty you meet after starting is not a failure. It is the training ground. Lesson 6. Every challenge is training. When you truly begin to take action, the world rarely feels gentle. You will face obstacles, misunderstandings, and results that fall short of your hopes. Some days, you give everything you have and no one notices. Some days you want to do well, but everything seems to turn against you. In those moments, you have two choices: to see it as proof that you're failing, or to see it as a lesson from fate. I remember one rainy morning, my car broke down in traffic, and I was late, soaked, and angry. My mind kept asking, why today? Then I remembered a line from Marcus Aurelius: "The obstacle is the way." The words cut through my frustration like a small blade. I realized the things I called problems were simply opportunities to practice what I preached. The Stoics saw life as a training ground, a place where every discomfort is sent not to punish you but to train you. They believed virtue, discipline, and calm cannot be learned from books. They are forged only through contact with hardship. Like muscles, character grows stronger under pressure. I began to change my view. When something went wrong, I stopped asking, why me? And started asking, what is this teaching me? When someone made me angry, I treated that anger as a teacher. When plans collapsed, I saw it as a lesson in flexibility. When exhaustion struck, I saw it as a test of endurance. James Stockdale, A.U.S. Navy officer who spent 7 years in a prisoner camp, said Stoic philosophy kept him alive. He believed, you cannot choose your circumstances, but you can always choose how to use them to train yourself. That line made me see the truth. There are no bad days, only lessons not yet understood. When you change how you see things, everything changes. The same people, the same problems, the same pressures, but you are no longer the same. You stop trying to escape difficulty. You begin to use it to grow stronger. And strangely, when you stop fearing challenges, they stop scaring you. If you have ever had a moment when something that seemed terrible ended up teaching you the most valuable lesson, share it below. Your story might help someone who is standing in the middle of their own test, not yet seeing its meaning. And after you've endured a few challenges, a subtler trap will appear. Not failure, but comparison. You'll start to notice others moving faster, going further, and earning more recognition. You'll begin to ask, why are they already there while I'm still here? That is the moment to remember, your journey is not a race. The only person you need to surpass is the one you were yesterday. Lesson 7. Don't compare your journey to anyone else's. There is something subtle that few people realize. It's not pain but comparison that quietly steals your peace. You can endure hardship, but it's much harder to endure seeing others seem to live better than you. One glance at your phone and you see lives that look perfect. Someone is more successful, someone is younger, someone has found what you're still searching for. I was trapped in that cycle for years. Every morning, instead of asking, who do I need to become, I asked, am I as good as them? And each time I lost my direction. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, do not waste time looking into the lives of others. Return to your own mind where you can truly act. That line wasn't comforting, it was a warning. Every time you compare, you hand others the power to define your worth. Modern psychology refers to this phenomenon as comparison fatigue, the mental exhaustion that results from constant comparison. When your brain is flooded with images of other people's success, it begins to see your own efforts as meaningless. You feel left behind, even though you're simply walking your own path at your own pace. The Stoics understood this deeply. They believed that every person has their own logos, a unique path their soul must travel. No one can live another's life, and no two journeys unfold the same way. Comparison only distracts you from the one thing you truly control, your inner progress. I learned this lesson while reading through my old journals. The times I was most at peace were never when I achieved something big, but when I took one small step forward, even if no one knew. Each morning I woke a little earlier. Each time I didn't react to an insult. Each time I chose calm over anger. No one praised me. No one noticed. But I knew I had moved further than yesterday, and that was enough. If you've ever felt tired from comparing yourself, share one small thing you did today, something that made you better than who you were yesterday. Your story might remind someone that actual progress doesn't need an audience, and once you stop comparing, a quiet space begins to appear in your mind. But within that calm, another challenge will come. When there is no competition and no external pressure, can you still stay disciplined from within? The answer lies in the next truth that every Stoic understood. Absolute freedom doesn't come from inspiration, but from discipline. Lesson 8. Choose discipline over inspiration. There are mornings when you wake up full of energy, ready to take on the world, but there are also mornings when your body feels heavy, your mind tired, and there's not a trace of motivation to begin. If you live only by inspiration, your life will rise and fall like a wave, powerful when the wind blows, motionless and lazy when it stops. I used to live that way, utterly dependent on inspiration. On some days I would write for hours and feel unstoppable. The next day I could barely open my laptop. What I once called passion slowly turned into pressure. I began to realize that inspiration is a good friend, but an unreliable one. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. They never waited for the right mood to act. They acted to create the right mood. Epictetus said, "If you want to be a philosopher, act like one." He didn't say, "Wait until you feel ready." He said, "Begin." For them, discipline was not a burden, but the path to freedom. Modern psychology agrees. Many studies show that when you repeat small actions daily, even without motivation, your brain gradually builds habits that generate natural, positive emotion. Emotion is not the starting point, it's the reward. I started to train myself in the smallest ways. Every morning, whether I felt like it or not, I woke up on time. Even with a heavy head, I sat for a few minutes of meditation. Even without inspiration, I managed to write a few lines. Not to prove anything, but to remind my mind that I was the one steering, not the other way around. Some mornings I sat down to write, and the words came slowly. The ideas felt dry, my head empty. Yet when I finished, I realized something. Those uninspired mornings were the ones that built my real strength. Because if I only act when it's easy, I'll never go far. Discipline is not fighting against yourself. It's protecting the best part of you from laziness, fear, and delay. It's a promise that no matter how chaotic the world becomes, you will keep your own rhythm. If you have a small habit that helps you stay steady, such as waking up early, exercising, meditating, writing, or simply drinking water in silence, share it below. Your routine might inspire someone else who's trying to find their rhythm again. And when you've built discipline, something deeper begins to grow inside you. You no longer need everything to be perfect to feel at peace. You stop needing more and start recognizing what you already have. That's when the morning journey leads to the next step, beginning with gratitude. Lesson 9. Begin with gratitude. There is a quiet power that most of us forget each morning. Gratitude. Not the kind that sounds polite, but the real kind that comes when you pause and notice that you are still here, still given another chance, still blessed with time to become a better version of yourself. I used to wake up every morning in a state of defense, as if the world was about to attack me. Work messages, plans, and worries, they all rushed in before I could take a breath. It took me years to realize that peace doesn't come from controlling everything. It comes from appreciating what is still here, even when I fail to notice it. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself every morning, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to love." For the Stoics, gratitude was not a passing emotion. It was the foundation of awareness. When you are grateful, you stop demanding that life be perfect. You ask that it be real. Psychology suggests that gratitude can even alter the way your brain functions. When you focus on what's good, your brain forms stronger, positive connections, lowers stress responses, and increases emotional resilience. Simply put, the more grateful you are, the stronger you become. I began to practice this with one small habit. Before touching my phone, I think of 3 things I'm grateful for. Sometimes they're tiny: the light through the window, a glass of cold water, a friend who still checks in. Gradually, I noticed my mind becoming slower, steadier. Instead of starting the day from a place of lack, I began it from a sense of fullness. Something strange happens when you stay consistent with gratitude. The things that used to bother you start to lose their weight. A tiring day can still feel peaceful if you can find even one thing to be thankful for, because gratitude is not a reaction to happiness. It is the root of it. If you can think of one small thing you're grateful for this morning, write it below. Not to boast, but to remind yourself that you still have something worth cherishing. And once you learn to begin your day with gratitude, the next lesson appears to end it the same way, because a day that doesn't end in peace will eventually take your morning away. The morning journey begins with gratitude. The evening journey, the one where you find stillness before a new day, begins with the final lesson. End your day better than it started. Lesson 10. End your day better than it began. A day doesn't truly end when you fall asleep. It ends when your mind decides to let go. Most of us carry the entire day into our sleep, the words left unsaid, the small mistakes, the things we could have done better. But the Stoics understood that peace is not found in controlling every moment. It's found in learning how to close them properly. I used to end my days feeling exhausted and regretful, my mind filled with lists of unfinished tasks, replaying old conversations again and again. I went to bed tense and woke up tired. Then I read Seneca's words, "Evening is the mirror of the soul." Look into it and ask yourself, have I lived as the person I meant to be today? That line changed how I looked at the night. Since then, I've developed a small ritual before going to sleep. Not a plan, not a demand for perfection. Just a quiet moment to sit, reflect, and thank myself for making it through. Even with mistakes and loose ends, I tell myself, I have done enough for today. And tomorrow, I will do a little better. Psychology refers to this as a self-compassion ritual, a habit of gentle reflection. When you end the day with understanding instead of judgment, your brain naturally lowers stress and builds inner safety. It helps you sleep more deeply and, more importantly, wake lighter, no longer carrying the weight of yesterday. I've learned that ending a day well doesn't mean ending it perfectly. It means ending it well. It means ending it consciously. It's knowing you were present. It's facing your emotions without running away. It's being able to say, I learned something today, and I'm grateful for it. If you have a small habit that helps you close your day in peace, writing a few lines, listening to quiet music, or simply turning off the lights and taking a deep breath, share it below. That simple act might help someone else find their way back to calm the next day. And that is what these 10 lessons remind you of. Life doesn't need grand transformations. It only requires small things done consistently with awareness and a steady heart. Each morning, you tell yourself the right words. Each night, you close with gratitude. That is how you change your entire life. When morning becomes a ritual of the soul, If you've reached the end of this journey, you've probably realized that what seemed like 10 morning reminders is in truth 10 steps back to yourself. Each lesson is a small stone, and when placed in the correct order, they form a foundation for a calm morning and a sovereign mind. You began by taking responsibility for your emotions, because peace is not something someone gives you, it's something you choose. Then you learned to protect that peace, understanding that no one can take it unless you allow it. You focused on what you can control and released what lies beyond your reach. You stopped trying to prove yourself because you are already enough, even if the world hasn't noticed yet. You chose action over thought, knowing life only changes when you touch reality. You saw that every challenge is a form of training, shaping you into someone who can stand firm in the face of adversity. You stopped comparing because every soul has its own orbit, and the most actual journey is the one within. You chose discipline over inspiration, so your freedom no longer depends on fleeting moods. You began your day with gratitude, realizing that happiness doesn't come after success. It is the foundation that leads you there. And finally, you ended your day better than it began by letting go, forgiving, and smiling at yourself. When these 10 truths become the rhythm of your mornings, you no longer need to chase peace. You are peace. Each reminder becomes like morning light, soft, steady, and enough to illuminate the mind after a long night. I once thought Stoic philosophy was a distant idea, something reserved for books and ancient minds. Now I understand it's simply the art of staying awake in chaos. It's learning to begin the day not with fear, but with awareness. It's seeing the world not as an enemy, but as the great classroom of the soul. If this journey has touched something within you, write a reminder below that you want to carry into tomorrow morning. Maybe I choose calm, I am grateful for today, or I am responsible for my mind. And if you know someone who's trying to find stillness within themselves, share this video with them. Don't forget to subscribe to Sovereign Stoic, where each week we learn to live deeper, more precise, and truer, not to escape the world, but to stand firm within it. As Marcus Aurelius once said, peace was never out there. It was within you all along.